Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome back with another episode on the REI Network podcast. I'm actually traveling. This is my first podcast in the car. I could call it REI in your car. I think Joe's done that before. And we're heading back. We've just been to Birmingham, Alabama. Me and Gabe were on our way back after just kind of looking at some flips. That's the second time that I've been to Birmingham. I've done a ton of deals there. We've been flipping, and we actually closed one today. I was actually at the closing table for the first time, which was pretty crazy in one of my virtual markets. And I met the buyer who bought this flip. We just sold a flip today for $300,000. We netted somewhere in the range of, we're waiting for a couple of invoices, but it should be around $48,000 to probably $52,000, something like that, after the money's been paid already, closing, realtor fees, closing costs. We should be in that range, so that's really cool. I think it took us about 12 weeks to do it, and we had a ton of problems. So don't want to make out that it was easy making around 50 grand on that flip, because we did overpay by 16,000 with certain things that went on. We had a contract, unfortunately, that got into a bad car accident, and we'd already paid him and his crews for certain work, and then we had to bring a new crew in. Anyway, it led on. It cost us about $16,500 on one flip and about $4,500 on the other. But anyway, we still made good money, so I'm happy. We got about nearly 40,000 over asking, just shy of that. So that was really good. And I met the buyer at the closing table today, and he was amazed that, one, I didn't live in Alabama, and we'd managed to flip this thing as an investor, and I'd never actually seen the house. And he was blown, his mind was blown, but obviously it comes down to great teams. I had Melissa there, who was running it on the ground. But if you build the right teams, then you can do it. So on this episode, I'm going to tell you a little bit about my day, but also I think what we really talked about today was, yeah, we talked about the flips and how cool and to be able to do these things, but it comes before that about the art of finding discounted properties, okay? Because if you can get in control of discounted properties, finding them off market, all right, and what is that? That's marketing. Number one in this business is marketing. You are a marketer, and you're in the sales business. That's it, marketing and sales. And then once you get control of a property, guess what? You pick your desired outcome. Do you want to flip it, wholesale it, buy and hold? Do you want to take it sub 2? Do you want to do a lease option? Do you want to do a wrap, owner finance? Doesn't matter, because you have control of it. But still, you should all be doing offline marketing, because if you're a great marketer, you will always make money in this business. And that's exactly what we did, right? Our rule is, and I'm not saying we're 100% perfect. I talked about it on one of our flips today. This one we closed. I didn't want to do this. I didn't want to take it on. The only reason that we did is because the market has demanded it. The market has gone up so much over the last 5 months that the numbers started to work, okay? We'd been working this lead for 2 years. 2 years, and we finally, I want to say 7 months ago, gave the lead over to a realtor and said, hey, will you help this gentleman? Will you list this house? See if you can bring in a buyer, and we don't want anything, just help him out. Anyway, they did. They brought a buyer in, and last minute he couldn't close. And this guy who owns the house was devastated, and it came back. The realtor brought it back and said, hey, look, like the buyer's just pulled out, we can't do it. He'd gone and bought a car or done something crazy, and couldn't close on the property. So we looked at it, and we ummed and ahed. And again, my rule is, if I can't wholesale it, I don't buy it, right? And I stick by it, Well, I didn't stick by it, did I, really? Because I was like, the margin's tight, but I think we can do something. And it developed. We bought it, and the plan was to put 15,000 into it and sell it for this. I think the buy price was 170. We were going to try and put 15 in, and we're going to sell it for like 235. That was the plan. Anyway, we did. We bought it. We started putting money in, and then started to look at the area, and it was going up and up. And we thought, well, if we put more money in, we can get more out. So obviously that's what happened. So we ended up putting about, I think, 50 grand in, 50, 60K in, something like that. And we obviously put more in, took a lot longer, 12 weeks still, but managed to sell it for 300,000. Now this is the highest sold comp. Actually, the appraisal came in. We listed this thing at 257.50 or something. The appraisal came in at 310. I could not believe it. We sold it. We accepted the offer at 300 grand at the time. And yeah, we got the deal done, but it's by far the highest comp in the area. I think the closest one to it was 280 or 285. So everyone in the neighborhood absolutely loves us on that one. So that was a great win. But it all came down to finding that. So how do we do it? I know that's probably what you're thinking. And it's not rocket science, right? It's being consistent, pulling lists. You all know I'm very much into the cold calling. I do a little bit of texting, and I'm actually jumping back into direct mail. As you probably are all aware, texting is going to go away, or it's going to get harder and harder. And we don't do too much of it, but we do some. And I'm going to be looking at direct mail a little bit, especially why because we're flipping and we have bigger spreads, so I can afford to spend a little more on marketing if it's going to bring in deals. But my number one source still is cold calling. Out of, I think, all the 3 flips we have on the go right now, that's including the one we just sold, 2 were from cold calling. 1 was we bought from a cash buyer. It was one of our cash buyers that didn't want it. He likes to work high end. And we paid him a 7,000 wholesale fee. He's not a wholesaler, he just had a realtor that bought him the deal. And that's the one that's the second one that's going on the market next week. We should make about 60K on that. And that's profit. That's after paying money costs and closing realtors and everything like that. So that's pretty cool. The third one that we're in, the last house we did today, I'm excited because that one was kind of a disaster still, which is cool to see because now I really get a feel for the end product once it's done. This one was another one in the 70,000, I think 72,000. It needs about 60,000 in work. This one's going to sell for about 250. So we should net about 100K on that. Obviously anything can happen, but it's so padded out, it doesn't matter if it does go an extra 25K over. If something does happen, then the spread's there to allow it. And the cool thing is, like, I don't mind, I'm buying these, I can show hoods that I actually own it, my company owns it, and what we're doing. And that's not to, again, it's not the chest beater or anything like that, but it's actually, I'm very much in this business. I love real estate, I love investing from a virtual level, and that's what's unique. I'm going in these houses, guys, and we did a load of content, so make sure you're following me on YouTube. If you want to see this, go to REI Network with Gavin Timms. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Instagram as well, at gavin.timms. And Facebook, just get on social because I'm going to be dropping them as they're ready. And it's pretty cool that I'm walking in these things, I'm investing, I've never even seen them, and it's because of the team, right? It's because of building the right team, having the right partners, and once you do that and everyone's kind of making money, we've got crews that we send from property to property where we can kind of control. The crew doesn't work for us, but they literally work full-time on all of our projects. So we're trying to keep them busy so it keeps our costs down on that rehab. So that helps with the speed. I mean, they're working, last night they were working till 10 o'clock. They were there we had 5 or 6 of them in one house today because they're trying to list this thing on the market next week. So that's pretty awesome as well. So we'll see how that goes. So yeah, I don't know how long have we been going, Gabe?
10 minutes.
Okay. So in terms of the list, let me talk about that. So all right, cool. So you shared like what you're doing, and these are some big wins and hopefully some big motivation for you. But let's talk about the list. Like, well, okay, how are you getting these leads? So it's super simple. I pull lists. You can use Batch if you haven't already signed up. Go to batchleads.io/Gavin, batchleads.io/Gavin. You can get 5,000 property records there. You can skip trace them in Batch. Make sure you remove the known litigators and the DNC and all that, and get calling them, right? Get on the phone, and start talking to potential sellers, tired landlords. The lists that you can pull, we pull all kinds of lists depending on the market. We'll pull absentee owners. We will pull, so they're like tired landlords where they own a second house. We'll pull vacants, we'll pull tax delinquent, code violation. We even pull owner occupied, right? Owner occupied still works well. Our biggest spreads actually come from owner occupied. Pulling that, and then what else? What other criteria do you need to know? Well, it depends on what type of your deal you're doing. If you're a wholesaler or you're a rehabber and you want to find discounted properties, then obviously you want to make sure that there's equity. 40% to 100% equity plus unknown. You could do length of residence, maybe 10 plus years, knowing that they've owned it, so there might be some more pain there. You could do 8 to 10 plus years, whatever. You might want to put a cap on it if you're in a low-end area and that's kind of where you're looking for deals and that's where the activity is, and you're not doing high-end properties. Maybe you want to put a current home value up to 200,000 or 300, or depending on what your area is. You can do single family, multi-family, triplex, duplex, quads. So that's kind of the criteria that you can pull with these lists, and go from there. Now, if you're on the creative side, then maybe you want to fish where there's less equity. Maybe you want to do from zero equity to like 30% equity, right, where less people are marketing. Again, especially on vacants. I mean, I would do everything vacant, so you can get literally find the deal, solve the problem. Remember, we're in you're kind of a property solutions company or business. You're there to solve problems for the seller. You don't want to be a one-trick pony, but in my next breath, I want you to also stay focused. So focus on one thing if you're new, whether that's cash offers or lease options, whatever it is, but you want to build multiple strategies as you go, so you can literally say there's no lead going to get left behind. All right, so that's really, really important. So that's some criteria that you can kind of pull, and once we get that data, like I said, you can skip trace it and get it into like a cold call software. Batch has actually launched their own dialer now, which I'm looking at moving all of my agents over to. I get actually a 7-day free trial for you, and I'm trying to give this stuff away free because it is free for 7 days. Right now there is a cost to it after that, but get in, get out, test it. So all these resources are going to cost you little to no money. To at least test them and go, actually, like, this is a fantastic, this is getting me more leads. So if you want to try batchdialer.com/Gavin, you'll actually get 7 days free. So batchdialer.com/Gavin, sign up, use it, move your leads over to Batch, get calling in the dialer, and go from there. But what I do is I actually get VAs doing it from the Philippines. We hire them, train them. They're $5 an hour. They make our outbound calls. They pre-screen leads, trying to get the 4 pillars on that conversation. So looking at kind of the condition of the property, right? Number 1 is condition. Number 2 is the price. Can they get a price out the seller? Number 3 is the timeline. And then number 4 is the situation and motivation. If we can hit some of them points, it actually allows us to get a pre-screen lead into the system, and then acquisition, or you as the investor, can get on that lead and understand kind of what the situation is. Now, I will say this, especially with cold calling and outbound marketing, is it doesn't matter if the seller wants too much money, because they will. Why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't a seller want too much? I don't care if they want too much money. I want to know why they're even here. Why do they even want to offer on their property? Why do they even give us this information? And why didn't they just say, no, I don't want to sell? Because guess what? That's what would normally happen. So everyone that says, no, I don't want to sell, that means, yeah, they don't want to sell. But the ones that want to sell but they want too much money, it's your job of the sales cycle, that of getting on the phone, asking the right questions, building the relationships, okay, and actually getting to the core problem to see if you can solve the problem. Because if you can't, if there's no problem there, right? You're not going to be able to, they're not motivated. You can't do business with a non-motivated seller. They will become motivated, or they are motivated, they're just not letting on. And timing's everything. I've just told you about the 3 deals that we got. One was a referral, so a wholesale, but the other 2, one was 2 years and one was 10 months on the 2 flips. So I didn't say they closed last week or they just came in, sorry, and we just got them within 1 phone call. The lady that we got a testimonial from on the last flip, 25 times on follow-up, 25 times in 10 months. And she said from her own mouth that we delivered everything that we said. We did not negotiate anything. We delivered on it. And we followed up and we checked in. She wasn't ever at any point wondering if we wanted to buy this property. We were helping her, and that's what you want. And when you see, if you want to listen to this testimonial, I'll get it to you, and you'll be like, yeah, there's no way. It doesn't matter if a direct mail hit. It doesn't matter if one of your text messages or your calls hit. There was no way she was going to sell that property to anyone else but us. If you watch it, you'll understand exactly kind of what I mean. So building them relationships, the reason I called REI Network, right? Because it's all about networking. That's how passionate I am about it, because that is how I have created opportunity after opportunity, from doing deals in Maui, doing deals in Florida, doing deals Alabama, in Georgia. I've done deals in Louisiana, Dallas, all over, okay? And it's only because of relationships. And if you understand that, the more relationships you can build and the better your networking is, the easier it is to do deals. And this is not just, I'm not just talking about wholesalers or cash buyers. I'm talking about everybody. Mortgage brokers, okay, attorneys, title companies, all of these people that will step in and help you out if you have them relationships. We've got really big into, you know, private money. We've been trying to raise private money for about 4 weeks, and we've just got, we should have locked up about 2 million from one person if we want. We're not, you know, if we need to use it. We've just got another one on board today who can fund within 2 hours. He's like, he knows what we do. He's local to Alabama, and he gave us the go-ahead. Look, we know the business you guys do. I'll fund it in 2 hours. Just let me know. And that's relationships, right? And that's what I want to do. I want to try and get about 5 million raised, so as I need it. And I only invest personally with, if it was like my own money. Like, I bought the 3rd flip, and people, like investors, you know, that are probably listening to this that have done flips, go, no, you should never use your own money. And I agree. You shouldn't use your own money. But you're going to tell me that I'm going to net 100 grand? I mean, I think that's a pretty safe bet. I'm not putting it on the stock market, right? And I'm hoping for the best. I'm not putting it in crypto and hoping it goes up. I'm putting it into real estate with 100 grand spread net. And I'm thinking, all right, well, we could bulldoze this thing and rebuild it and still make money. So I think my money's pretty safe. So we closed that one pretty quick. So I'm very calculated with that, and I am with the investors as well. So if anyone's listening here that wants to, you know, invest in what we're doing as well, then reach out. If you want to put your money somewhere and you want to invest in anything, then get in touch. And also, more importantly, we've just changed our mentorship program, and I'm pretty passionate and excited about this. The whole layout is new. My team's more involved. We're diving deep into case studies and the things that we're doing. We're going to be doing calls most days. Last week we did 5 coaching calls last week. This week we've done 4. We've been every day this week, and it's been pretty amazing. We're helping our clients. We're actually going to be, you know, co-wholesaling with them if they want. We'll actually work leads with them, and it's pretty awesome. So we're trying to change the game. If you're interested in getting into kind of the culture that we're building, and it's kind of we talk about no lead left behind. I'm talking about no client left behind, right? Everyone's going to do deals. It's a 6-month program, and it's going to be what you need to get to that next level. I'm pretty excited about it. My one-to-one people are in it, and they're like, this format is game changer. So I don't think anyone is offering it. Anyone's doing anything like it. And again, I feel like I'm pitching, because I kind of am, but I'm going to be putting this out there because I'm passionate, and the feedback I'm getting from clients, and come and test it, come and see. And here's the other thing, like I'm going to be doing, like if you sign up and within the first week, if you think that it's nonsense, I'll give you a 7-day and you go, right, join us for a week, and if it's no good, I'll write you a check back out, no problem. But I think your investment that you put into what you're going to get out is crazy. So check it out. Go to reinetwork.com/join, reinetwork.com/join. Let's get on the phone, at least have a conversation, and yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. So make sure you do that. And we're going to teach you everything about wholesale. I'm very active in the group, answering all your questions, and yeah, it's pretty awesome. So anyway, we're driving back. It's getting a little dark if you're watching me on YouTube. And Gabe's holding the camera here and his hands are shaking. So we better get done. I appreciate you all. Make sure you give us a like and subscribe. Hopefully you got some good information from here. If you anything I said that you have questions on, put it in the comments. I will personally be in there answering them. And yeah, I just want to say thank you. I'm going to be trying to get out more. Again, make sure you follow me on social media. And everyone have a great rest of your day when you're listening to this. And let's have a great year. All right, thanks, guys.